Well, Ruben, your thoughts on your team and their efforts today?
I think we did well. Of course, we don't want to play like this, defending so much and giving the ball to the opponent. But with all the games, with all the problems, and then the characteristics of the players, try to leave Lindelof, for example, without games, trying to let him without a lot of meters to cover. Casemiro is more comfortable in this kind of game, so I try to adapt and to imagine the game that we could win, and we proved that today.
Are you on the back foot mainly because it's a tactical decision from yourself, given the options you've got, the players you have available?
It's also the opponent. The last game for Champions League was high pressure from PSV, man to man, and they are harder to mark in this way. In the low block, we can control more the game, and then we have some good players for transition. I think Garnacho made a really complete game. So he was upset last Thursday, and today it was amazing.
That said, once you went ahead in the game, did you feel like the confidence grew and you became a much more threatening side?
Yeah, it's normal. It's normal, and we try to let the starting 11 until the goal, because you know that when you suffer a goal, all that the players tired from the last games is going to show, and we push a little further. I think it works. It worked a little bit, but we try to choose the best moments to press high, and we have some moments winning the ball, and we create a lot of chances to win the game today.
As the Manchester United manager, Ruben Amorim. This is the Manchester United midfielder Christian Eriksen, live from Old Trafford. Christian, thank you very much indeed for joining us. What was your view on that 1-1 in the end?
Yeah, I think we can be happy with a draw. I think we had some good opportunities to even win the game, but obviously being further back than we want to, then it's difficult. But I think we played a good game in general.
What about that free kick? You've taken a few in your time from Bruno Fernandes just before half-time.
Yeah, well, you have to let them play at the moment. You have to shoot at the moment because they're going in. Yeah, I think even with Owen in the studio, I think we did a few free kicks before. But yeah, maybe he's been watching clips.
Christian, was that the game plan a little bit today? Obviously, you kind of let them have a little bit of the ball, was kind of sit in and then try and hit him on the counter. I thought Garnacho especially was terrific. He gave the team so much going forward.
Yeah, no, it was a bit of staying back a bit more and trying to punish them on that. And yeah, that was literally the game plan, like you saw in the game.
And you'd gone to 75 minutes with the lead. Touch frustrated that the goal eventually went in from Arsenal at that point?
Yeah, I think so also. With the chances we had to go up for 2-0 and really close the game off was a bit unfortunate. But I think, yeah, we kept ourselves in the game for a long time, and we had the belief that we were going to win, and unfortunately we didn't. But yeah, it's always a bit disappointing to concede a goal in the last few minutes. And
you found a goalkeeper in unbelievable form in that second half, and in the very last minute as well, didn't you? Yeah,
no, I think he had very good saves, which kept them in the game, obviously.
Overall, what's the general feeling about progress under Ruben Amorim at the moment?
No, I think it's obviously United. Everything is slow. Everything is more or less. Everybody wants it to be quicker and faster and everything, but it takes time to adapt to new stuff. It's a new style of play, new position on the pitch, and a different manager, like I said. So yeah, it takes time to adapt, and yeah, we are doing our best to adapt as quick as possible and get used to it. And yeah, obviously, when you're United, there's no time to adapt stuff like that.
No, and he hasn't been able to pick a settled side either, has he? I mean, that makes it more difficult.
Yeah, obviously there's been a lot of injuries in and out, a lot of games, and not enough wins. That makes it a lot easier.
But just finally, a positive result today to set you up for an enormous day there at Old Trafford now.
Yeah, it will be. It will be a massive game and very important for our season in general to win the next game and go through to the next round and give ourselves an option to go through.
Appreciate you joining us, Christian. Thanks very much indeed.
You're welcome.
Cheers. That's Christian Eriksen live at Old Trafford. He's right, though. I mean, it does take time, but when you're a Man United player, you're not given time, are you? You know that.
No, and I think Christian understands that as well. That's probably why he came out. He's probably one of the best talkers, I think. And I think also Ruben probably relied, on his experience, Casemiro's experience. I thought did well in there today. Bruno playing in centre mid. I think he looked at those guys, thought, right, let's be solid, let's defend deeper, be solid in the middle of the park. Obviously, with Garnacho on the right-hand side, I thought he was terrific. And then Mazraoui, especially second half. He made some brilliant runs coming inside. So they had a game plan. And you know what? You'd have to say it came off. So credit to the manager and the players. But again, it's not often you see a Man United team that's got 30-odd% possession. But I think it was needs must. And I think the game probably on Thursday might be quite similar, against Sociedad. So that is a great blueprint for that game. They need to win. And if they can win the Europa League, Steve, they save their season. Whether you finish 14th or 15th, the Europa League is Champions League. And then you put yourself in a different position altogether.
Yeah, but that's not as easy as said and done, is it? Winning the Europa League at this moment in time.
Well, they probably have the best squad in there, in the Europa League. So why not? You've got to plant a seed and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go win the Europa League. We've got the squad to do it. They got more than enough players to go and do it. I think even though they've had really difficult season, and the only reason that's, Steve, is because of what they got as players. They can produce it. They did it, against Liverpool, didn't they? Yep. Went to Arsenal and got something, did it again today. And I think maybe that's a blueprint. Don't try and dominate the games. Play on the counter.
Like a cup team, really.
Yeah, play on the counter. You got the players, defend well, and then you got players at the top of the pitch who can win your game in Bruno and obviously Garnacho.
And Garnacho, once someone like Ahmad comes back as well. And I think that when you are playing against a team like Arsenal, a top team that doesn't have the kind of striker that can finish those games off for you, make those games comfortable for you with the possession you have in the first half, you can get away with winning games like that at Manchester United. Playing so deep, Garnacho the furthest forward, because he was, if we're going to be totally honest, he was a real problem for us. Foul for the free kick. So their game plan in that respect worked. But it works because Arsenal can't be ruthless enough in front of goal to absolutely finish them off.
Is that his best game under Amorim today, Garnacho?
You know what? Often we've seen him play on the left, and he's quite effective coming inside, but I actually don't mind him on the right because he has to pass the ball more. Mm-hmm. When he plays on the left, he comes inside and he shoots. And I thought he created a lot for his teammates today. So I'll be honest, I rarely watch him and don't think he's a really, really good player. And I really wouldn't want to see him go because I think in a way you got to build around him or, the Kobbie Mainus or the Marcus Rashford. I know he's gone, but you should build around these young guys. I know they might need to sell him for financial reasons. But I want to see these guys play there and grow and improve and enjoy the good times that we have because he's been there and it's been quite difficult. But again, today, he was the shining light. Him and Bruno were the ones pushing that team forward when they needed it.
Yeah, and last 10 minutes, Leicester letting goals everywhere, left, right and centre. Never looked like scoring against West Ham. Never really looked like scoring against Forest. And I just thought, you're playing in the top league in the world, in my opinion. You're playing for one of the top teams in the league. And you've got no centre forward. No centre forward. I mean, you're asking Mourinho to go up there and play. He come on and got 2 against Leicester. Yeah, they were the last 10 minutes. Good finishes. But you're not going to win the league with him playing up front. And he looks lost up front. He doesn't give you a presence, doesn't give you anything up front. And it's so important, a centre forward. No team ever wins anything without a good centre forward. And Arsenal are suffering at the moment. And I think it's a worry now to the end of the season. Because I look at the games and I think they've got to score goals and there's no goals in them. And it's starting to get a little bit tight there. And then Man City have got some nice fixtures coming up. And it wouldn't be surprised me, Man City, I think, are in 5th at the moment, that they could catch Arsenal.
We keep pushing, but as we reiterated, 85 points is their maximum now, which leaves Liverpool needing a maximum 16. Is it all over?
Yeah.
Really answered the question a couple of weeks ago when they were still in a closer of a shout.
Yeah, I mean, they're 5th in the league and nearer to Arsenal than what Arsenal are to 1st. I mean, in my opinion, I'd be saying now we've got to concentrate and make sure we get in the top 4. I mean, they're too far away. Liverpool got to lose virtually half of their football matches. They've lost 1 all season. It's not going to happen. The league's over. It's finished.
When the players speak after the games, it's on about we just didn't have any cutting edge. You've got to have cutting edge. Cutting edge is very, very important. It's like as if to say, well, once we get that back, but if you've lost that cutting edge and you're not scoring goals, or you don't look like you're going to score goals, don't forget about closing any gap on Liverpool. I agree. I think you should be more worried about the teams coming up behind you. Because cutting edge at this level, we've seen it, the amount of times they had possession in United's final third, but we never thought they were certainly going to score 2 or 3 goals. And that's a big part of football.
Why does it go from having cutting edge one game, which they did midweek, Because they play against a really poor side.
Yeah.
Well, to Declan's point, they haven't lost at home for 2.5 years.
Yeah, and
they've beaten Liverpool, all right, a weakened Liverpool, but Juventus as well.
But that just shows you, I think, the level of this league is really relentless. And don't get me wrong, I think what Manchester United did, they sat deep, made it really difficult for them. But when I think about Arsenal at their best, I think about real pace on the counter-attack. And any time there's any space, when you've got Bukayo Saka, when you play with Trossard and play with Marino, you haven't got that pace that's really going to... You're not really going to worry about it. Nwaneri on the right gives you something, but in that respect, double up against him, and they haven't. He summed it up perfectly. It's a perfect analysis. We haven't got that cutting edge with the players they've got right now, and they're not playing at that level. And they're not threatening teams. They're playing lovely football, intricate passes, but unless they're going to score from something from outside the box, the set pieces have dried up. So nothing really is going Arsenal's way. And I agree, they've got to be careful what's going behind them.
You're saying they scored 7 during the week, but they didn't have any swagger about them today. They had like nice bits of possession. But if anything, at the end, you're thinking United are probably going to win it. And United have been dreadful all season. They've produced in 3 or 4 games, United, but you felt sitting there. So I'd be looking at Arsenal's mentality and their swagger going, where was it? You're coming to United. You must smell that United here for the taking. United were sitting in and hoped, obviously, on the counter-attack. But Arsenal didn't show that. They went streetwise. And at the end, they were really open. And United probably should have won the game.
But how do you explain that? That sounds like it's a mentality issue.
Well, it might be. It might be. So we're praising Arsenal the last few years, saying they've done well and they've made progress. But the next step is always the hardest one. So this idea of the last few years going, oh, they've made real progress, they finished second, blah. Oh, if you're playing for Arsenal, remember, what could a second to you? If you're talking about winning league titles, don't compare it to United, but where they are. But the next step, getting over the line, is the hardest one. But I'm not seeing an Arsenal team here where they turned up today and you went, I tell you what, they were machine-like, they put United, they knew United were there for the taking, and they weren't even ready to take that step. So forget
in terms of the title race, and Liverpool potentially might have come unstuck with a difficult run of fixtures, certainly through February, but when it came to the crunch, Paul, this is when Arsenal, having beaten Manchester City so impressively, have dropped off, losing at home to West Ham United, failing to get through Nottingham Forest, and then dropping more points here today. As we said, they've dropped.
So he's not going to give up, and rightly so, but you said today, this was a game they needed to win.
Yeah, we did need to win. And when we don't win a game like this, and obviously with our goalkeeper making some extraordinary saves, the question is always forwards. And we are lacking. We're lacking forwards because I think that when you look at the possession in the first half and the chances created, with a forward in there who's in there for that particular reason to try and get on the end of things, that's where you miss it. You've got people continuing trying to arrive. You're trying to hold it up for people to make runs. You want someone in there so you could just put it in there and they can finish. And I think that is probably, in the end, will probably cost us not having that person in there to take those chances, to make it a more comfortable game for us.
I mean, we were just saying to Wright today, Nwaneri's 17, been amazing since he's come to the side. Had a bit of a down day today. It happens when you're a young kid. But they shouldn't be relying on him to be the star at Old Trafford. They've got a central midfield player playing up front. I know they've got injuries, but if you're second and you're chasing to win the league, you need more options than that. And that's why I said, in a way, I actually think they've overachieved in many ways, because this group of players has done amazing. But I still think they need 2 difference makers to take you from here to take the next step. If you look at what you're competing against, you look at, the Haalands and the Salahs, they need a guy like that. If they get it, they could win everything. Yeah. I really believe that.
Did you share that opinion at the end of last season?
Yeah, everybody did. All the Arsenal fans.
Everybody's thinking it was going to happen in respect of who they're going to get, because that's what we need now. We got so close twice. Looks like we're going to probably get close again this season. You think you just need that piece and then the people to stay fit, and you're probably going to challenge them. I think that we'll be a lot closer to Liverpool with that striker who could take those chances in those moments where Arsenal needed, like we needed today in the first half.
Look what Liverpool has. Look at all the different options. You've got Mo Salah, Jota,
Gakpo,
Diaz.
The 6 of them. Whereas I think if Saka's out, which he's been absolutely amazing for them, if he's out, is Martinelli going to get the goals? Yeah, I know. A couple of seasons ago he got
15.
You got 15. That's great. But again, those goals have dried up. Havertz is a great player, but he's not a number 9. So you're relying on people to do something that's not their expertise. Just go get an Osimhen or somebody. Go get somebody that it's his job to score goals. You got everything else. Great goalkeeper. Best defence in the league. Midfield is absolutely fantastic. Just need another one in there with Declan and Ødegaard. but go get a striker and a centre mid. You can go win everything. The money's coming in. They're selling the Smith Rowes and those types of players. They must have the money.
Was very, very low, wasn't it, in the summer? So.
Yeah, it was. That's why, again, you could go back to January and say something should have been done to strengthen. I don't know who they could have got, but that's not the job is to try and find somebody, and it didn't happen. And so you have to feel like, again, we have to start thinking about the summer, because you watch a game like that again and you just feel like it's just something missing. Options up front, and we needed that even before Saka.
In that sense, do you feel for?
But then you look at we're talking about centre forwards. Then you look at someone like Rasmus Højlund. Now they've paid what they've paid from 63, 70, whatever it is, and if you're going to be paying that money, you are taking a chance. So you look at Højlund. It was 63, whatever it is. You look at Darwin Núñez, he was 80 something, and then you look at Isak, he was 60 something. It's a gamble. And I don't care what anyone says, whoever you're picking, it's going to be a gamble. So you might as well go in with what you're going to go in for, do your due diligence on that player for how you want to play Arsenal, and just go and get him and make it work, because you can see it can come undone for you, like we're seeing with Højlund at the moment, unfortunately for him, and we've seen with Darwin Núñez. It can go wrong for you, but at the same time, you've got to dip your feet in that water.
Okay. You say Trossard's foul on him created the opportunity just before half-time for the free kick.
Yeah, it was, and again, like he was there for me, the main focal point of what the problems that we were going to get were going to come from him. Trossard there, coming back, but then he's chasing. He's pushed him in the back. It's a foul. It's a foul, and he's the danger guy. So, and once this happened, you just started to feel, You just started to feel like, oh no, Bruno he's counting out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. No, you know what? You look at that there, it just looks far. It looks far, and I'm thinking to myself, as players, yes, you want to get to the 10, but then you want to start creeping, because you look at even the guys, the big guys, and they jump, and it's still the keeper can't get there, simply because, for me, he hasn't got to do a lot to get that over that wall. And the goalkeeper, you can see him coming over to the left, and he can't get there, because, for me, the wall's too far back.
But you know what? Sometimes when you get a free kick like that, sometimes, depending where the wall is, sometimes they're too close. As a free kick taker, I put the ball back, even though the ref puts it down.
You give it a yard.
I take it back a little bit, because it just allows you to get the ball over the wall. That looked like there was too much space between the ball
and the wall.
Yeah. Often they look closer. And they probably were. I think there was a difference of about a yard, wasn't there?
We were
meter.
Too obedient in that ball, You normally got a rereferee saying to you to move, but you got to sneak up. We didn't even sneak up. We just stood there like sticks in the mud.
Anyone think you knew what you were talking about for direct free kicks for United at that end against
Arsenal? We're not getting in again, are we?
We have to.
Well, we thought we'd compare it.
You know what?
Similar position, though.
Yeah, it's similar. I think that ball's even closer. Oh, they don't jump as well as I thought they should have. Maybe the one guy jumped there in that wall, but that was the technique of that, getting it up and down quickly, was fine. I thought Bruno's one, the way it went in, it wasn't one that I felt went up and down quickly. It just went over.
The one thing I would say about the execution of the free kick, if it's done right, doesn't matter who's in goal, it doesn't matter who's in the wall. If you get it right, it gets over the wall in dips.
You can't
do anything about it.
Arsenal's faint hopes of winning the Premier League took another blow on Sunday, despite Declan Rice securing Mikel Arteta's men a 1-1 draw on a day of protest at Manchester United. The Gunners could ill afford any slip-up given their title hopes hung by a thread, but their failure to match Liverpool's result the previous day leaves them needing a miracle with 10 games left. Arsenal sit 15 points behind the leaders after Rice cancelled out Bruno Fernandes' free kick as United impressively overcame recent exertions and the fact they were without 11 players for a game Ruben Amorim simply wanted to survive. The toothless visitors failed to turn first-half dominance into an opener in Arteta's 200th Premier League match in charge, with Fernandes firing the Red Devils ahead with a stoppage-time free kick. David Raya produced key saves before and after Rice rifled Arsenal level as a tame opening period made way for a frenetic second half. Anti-Glazer chants filled the air from the outset on a day when the 1958 supporters group organised United's most significant protest since 2022. thousands marched on Old Trafford and director Edward Glazer got a first-hand taste of that fury as he watched from the stands, where co-owner Jim Ratcliffe was also in attendance and the subject of some ire. Arsenal started on the front foot and Mikel Merino went close to an early opener, but they dominated possession in passive fashion as they lacked a cutting edge that injured trio Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz and Gabriel Jesus could have brought. Martin Odegaard saw a low drive held and Leandro Trossard flashed wide as Arsenal looked for a breakthrough that United unexpectedly provided after Trossard fouled Alejandro Garnacho 25 yards out. Fernandes stepped up to the free kick and struck past Raya, whose positioning was suspect, in front of a bouncing Stretford end. Arsenal sought a leveller early in the second half, with Onana getting a touch on a fizzing Odegaard strike before an unmarked Rice volleyed over the resulting corner. United were looking more of an attacking threat, though, and Ryan needed to produce some key saves. The Arsenal goalkeeper superbly stopped Nasser Mazraoui volleying home a Diogo Dalot cross, then prevented Joshua Zirkzee flicking in. But United looked tired, as they did in the final 20 minutes in Thursday's 1-1 Europa League draw at Real Sociedad, and Arsenal half-chances were followed by a 74th-minute leveller as Jurrien Timber showed good awareness and cut back for Rice to slam a first-time strike past Onana. Matthijs de Ligt and Fernandes had attempts for the home side, with substitute Gabriel Martinelli seeing a rifled effort clawed around the post by Onana at the other end. Play was swinging from end to end and Rasmus Højlund could have won it. First Rice got back to stop the out-of-sorts substitute capitalizing on fine work by Casemiro and, after Trossard struck wide, he was stopped from meeting a cross by Gabriel. Garnacho lasered over before some stoppage time drama. Odegaard saw a shot saved and an offside Martinelli lashed over the rebound, then Raya stopped a Fernandes piledriver before somehow getting back to stop the looping ball being bundled in.